Good afternoon and welcome to a bit of an explanation about what sales funnels are and how to build one using Google, Facebook, and Instagram. I'm Dante St. James. I'll share that screen and get us underway. A quote quickly from probably the king of the sales funnels is Russell Brunson. They think that as long as they build the best product or service, people will just show up to buy it. It just doesn't work that way anymore. And Russell went on to form a brand called ClickFunnels, which has probably been the leading entity when it comes to creating sales funnels and the software to run those sales funnels in as easy a way as possible. In fact, a lot of online course people, coaches, those kind of people will use this particular kind of theme, but they'll use his software to do it. The way we're going to look at it today is to do it yourself. Like, you don't have to use special software to do it. Just do it all within Google, Facebook, things like landing pages. But this is an overview, remember, because what we're going to cover today is a bit about what the sales funnel is. We'll look at what the hook at the top of the sales funnel is, the educational process in what is called the middle of the funnel, and looking at the conversion part, which is at the bottom of the funnel, and a bit in there about what the role of landing pages is and what they actually are. But as a spoiler alert, they're just basically the page where your website actually answers the questions that your ads in the sales funnel are going to create. Now, of course, you don't have to have ads to create a sales funnel. You can have very organic campaigns on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, all sorts of things. I run a lot of organic stuff that does very well on LinkedIn. But the reality is that the chances are you're selling something that a lot of other people are selling, whether it's a course, whether it's a book, whether it's a perfume, whether it's a physical product that you want to be able to sell to someone. Chances are there's a lot of other people out there selling it. So putting a few dollars behind that is probably going to help you at least to get somewhere near where your competitors are with that process. This is brought to you by Business Station and the Digital Solutions Program by the Australian Government. I'm very thankful for that funding because it's allowing us to bring so much of this material to life for you for free. You can watch this again later on through the Business Station channel or my own Dante St. James one. I've got tons of videos on there. I've only got 135 subscribers as of today, so I think we can do a little bit better than that. So please do subscribe to me. And if you are watching this through YouTube, whack on that subscribe button and the notification bell icon so you can be told when new stuff does come up from my channel. Background on me, if you haven't met me before, my business is a Clickstarter, which is a digital marketing agency and a coaching agency, dantestjames.com, which is all about my own coaching that I give to other people through this kind of thing. And then Cellular One, which is my mobile phone and NBN internet reselling company. As well as that, I've done lots of study through lots of different tertiary institutions and diplomas and advanced diplomas and postgraduate diplomas. And I've done a lot of study. And what it's led me to is to be able to work with Facebook Australia to, in part, actually is helping a lot of their larger clients and small business clients as well in how to create sales funnels using Facebook and Instagram specifically. We're adding a little bit of YouTube and Google into this one, so it's not that oriented towards just Facebook and Instagram. But I've done some work with Google, with the Australian government's programs, NICE and Digital Solutions. And in just a week and a half, I'll be taking off around the Northern Territory for the October Business Month, a range of events from Nhulunbuy to Alice Springs to Tennant Creek to Katherine to Darwin. It's always one of my favorite parts of the year where we get to meet lots of people you normally wouldn't get to meet in some very weird, wonderful and remote places of a very remote part of Australia. So first of all, what is the sales funnel? The sales funnel is basically, at its very core, is a way of counting through the customer journey, going through, say, the process of becoming aware that you exist, displaying an interest in what you do, making a decision about who to use, and then taking the action that it takes to become a customer of yours. So they call it a funnel because it essentially starts with lots of people at the top, and as you work down that funnel, it then becomes smaller and smaller, the amount of people, till finally a little customer drops through and you've got a conversion. Now, that can be explained as awareness, which is the first point where the potential customer will find out who you are, what you do, and who that is for. This is kind of like your area to do a bit of an elevator pitch, I guess, letting someone know who you are, what you do, and who it's for. Then secondly, we look at the interest level, which is the potential customer now shows their first interest in who you are or what you do. This is the place where they respond to what they've seen of you before. And as we'll show very shortly, there's a point that you can jump in here to further that relationship with them or educate them in more about what you're about. Then next up is the decision point. And this is where someone is making a decision to work with you. So the potential customer is now doing a comparison shop around you and others that do what you do. And they're looking for reasons why they should choose you or choose someone else. And finally, at the action point in this one, it's where the customer takes that call to action and books or buys or inquires or does whatever it is that you need them to do. Now, it's an easy way of sort of breaking this down. Most sales funnels in ad platforms work on awareness, consideration, and conversion. Google works that way. Facebook works that way. LinkedIn works that way. Pretty sure most of the social platforms do, which then allows you to compress that into three main kind of areas. And these three main kind of areas and what you'll do with them are really important. What do you do at each step of those sales funnels? So the first thing, awareness. You get your potential customers' attention. This is where you reach out into the void and you get attention. There's lots of ways you can do that. They can be all about, the hypergraphics and movement and motion. The consideration part of the sales funnel then, which is now the middle, or often called the middle of funnel, is how you educate your customer in why they should choose you specifically. You're setting out your point of difference. You're setting out that stuff that says, choose me, not them, because I've got this particular skill, I've got this particular ability, or I serve this particular kind of customer that no one else is. And then finally, at the bottom of the funnel is the conversion. This is where you're giving them a reason, not just to do it, but to do it now. To jump in, buy now, book now, inquire now, download now, whatever it takes to get that which you need them to do. So our chosen platforms being Facebook, Instagram, Google, and YouTube, how do they work with the sales funnel? So they work with it in a way that they answer the questions that you want to ask at different levels of the sales funnel. The awareness level, where people become opportunistically aware of you because they discover you, is usually in social media platforms. So Facebook and Instagram, where you see ads and different business page posts and shares that people have done, you opportunistically find out what someone does, not because you're looking for them, but because you've either shown some kind of interest in that thing, so it sort of shows up and makes you aware of the company, or it's been shared by someone else. Someone else has shared, or it's an ad that pops up in your feed because you've shown an interest or you've been identified as a target audience to which this particular ad is applicable, then boom, that will show up. But YouTube is also a very important channel for this as well. YouTube is just as big as Facebook in terms of the amount of watching that goes on and the amount of audience that goes on it. In fact, in Australia, YouTube and Facebook have a similar amount of users. It's around about that between 17 and 20 million people doing that. And why YouTube as an ad platform? Simply because there's lots of different kinds of ads you can play on YouTube. There's a non-skippable ad, so you can pay a bit more to make people watch your ad before they start watching that video. There's also the skippable ads, so they get to see like the first few seconds and then they can skip ahead. Or there's even the bumper ads, which are really, really small ads, maybe like a few seconds, up to 5 seconds long. They just got to put a bumper and they go, boom, here's a message, and then they're out again. It's really short, sharp, clear messages. That's great for people who don't know who you are and they're just discovering you for the first time. Then at the consideration level of the sales funnel, where you're now starting to bring them down into a relationship with you, they already know who you are. But what they're going to do now is learn more about you. And this is where you educate that potential customer in your points of difference, in the benefits to them of the things that you do and provide. So that's where Google now jumps in, because people are now generally looking for what it is you do. If they're not looking for you directly, and most of the time they're not, they're going to be looking for someone who does what you do. If you're a plumber, they're looking for plumbers in general, not just you. If they're looking for a consultant, they're looking for consultants that do everything that you do, not just you specifically. So this is where you need to have something in place, whether it's through search engine optimization and you're getting those natural search results, those organic search results, or whether you've got Google ads that are helping to lift you up the ranking. So at the very top of it, they'll see you before they go down through the organic results to find everybody else who does what you do, who might have a few more runs on the board when it comes to the SEO game. Now, this also works in Facebook and Instagram as well through a method we call retargeting. So you can actually target people who've taken either actions on your page, your profile, your ads, your videos, or even on your website. To a degree, you can retarget them a little bit less effectively than we used to be able to, thanks to Apple. But in the terms of the conversion at the bottom of the funnel, where someone's finally going to pop out and be a customer, again, you're jumping at the point where they're making that decision. They're not just researching the decision, they're making that decision. And funnily enough, Google and Facebook as platforms can understand that intention. They know the difference between someone who is tire kicking and someone who's buying. Really thirsty today. Sorry, it's actually my air conditioner is on the fritz, so it's very, very hot. I live in Darwin in what we call the build-up season. It's getting really warm in here. And I had to close the door because there's too much noise outside. In the awareness stage, you're going to be producing highly relevant visual and sound ads. Now, these are going to be pretty much videos designed with sound on, because people watch YouTube with their sound on. That's why you're going to YouTube. You're going there specifically to watch something dedicated. You're going to be listening to that something, not just watching the graphics on the screen. So you get the chance to have very relevant material in the ads that match what people are watching on YouTube. So if they're looking for how to unclog a drain, well, there's a good chance that at some point they're going to get an ad come up that's all about plumbers in their area. If they're looking for ways to handle cattle ticks in a northern cattle farm, well, then they're going to be looking at, probably ads that relate to that in some way. It might be to do with stock feed or stock supplements or something like that, or stock pumps that are able to pump a lot of feed out into feeding troughs. In Facebook and Instagram, then, it's a really similar thing, but we've got a funny thing that happens. We don't tend to have our sound on for Facebook and Instagram, because we usually consume that on a phone. Whereas YouTube, we're a bit more balanced between phone and our big TVs and our big monitors and our desktop computers. So we'll find that we'll tend to be a little bit more oriented towards perhaps just watching it with the sound off. So what we need to do, because we don't have a sudden sound or music or excitement in a voice to come through, we need to express that need for attention. And that's what it is. We're trying to grab someone's attention through the visuals. So a high impact 15-second video ad will be able to fit into both Facebook, Instagram stories, Facebook stories placements as well. They take a maximum of 15 seconds for an ad. By the way, too, it's 15 seconds for an ad on YouTube too. So that 15-second thing is a bit of a theme that you'll start to see coming through. You can have longer ads on Facebook and Instagram in the feed though. So don't feel like you can't have a longer ad. You can. But if you can't say it in, well, as an old program director in my radio days used to say, if you can't say it in 15 seconds, it's probably not worth saying, and you're going to bore someone to death with it. He was brutal to me. In the consideration part of the sales funnel, we then look at adding informative search text ads and branded remarketing banners. What does that mean in English? Well, on Google, you've got the opportunity to have text ads. The search ads, you put in a search and up comes a bunch of ads just before you get the organic search results. So what you get to do, excuse me, that was very unexpected. Informative, I think I'm going to go again. No, we're right. Okay, so the informative search text ads, they're not just something saying, here I am, buy me in that search ad. They're actually educating someone in the text ad. So if they're asking a question such as, how do I get rid of cattle ticks? I picked the real glamorous titles today. How do I get rid of cattle ticks? They will then have a search response in the text that you've designed to answer that question, or at least educate on what cattle ticks are. So it says, northern cattle ticks different than southern cattle ticks, find out, and it'll go to an article on your website. Or is how to get more work from defense. You will have an answer to that says specifically, to get more work from defense, you need to be able to go through an accreditation process. We'll show you how. And that's all going to fit into a text ad on Google, on mobile, on your desktop, any of those at all. So you've got that opportunity. Then there's what we call remarketing banners. And remarketing is the act of sending someone an ad based upon what they've been doing on website. So if they landed on your website, then you can retarget the people who landed on your website with ads for you. So they go, okay, they went to the website to check you out after they saw a really snazzy video. Now they're going to turn around and go, okay, I'm going to go back there and have another look. And that's because they've gone to, say, news.com.au or your local newspaper, the Courier Mail or the West Australian, and an ad on there appears to remind them that they've been at your website, and they probably should go and visit that website again. Again, a little bit more limited these days if you're on Apple devices, doesn't work quite as well, but there's still more than enough people who that does work for on Android and desktop devices. In the Facebook and Instagram world, at the consideration level, we're looking now at delivering a message in video that's either educational, and you can do this through static ads as well. You don't have to necessarily just do video. You can also do it in static graphics or slideshows, or you can do it through a carousel where people flick through those educational pieces, but it is delivered much better through video. People do watch video a lot more, and they're actually more likely to see whole video ads than what they are to read through long reams of text that have been placed on a Facebook ad for someone to read. So these demonstrational video ads, and maybe you've got a product and you're going to demonstrate it, or is a process you use and you're going to demonstrate it. Or even if you want to do step 1, we do this, step 2, we do this, step 3, we do this. And it's just 15, 30 seconds, even a minute long of ad that explains your process or explains what you do, educates that customer, especially on why they should why they should choose you. Because at this stage, they're shopping around. They're looking for all sorts of things. They might be shopping for price, might be looking for whether whether anyone services their area at all, or whether someone does a specific thing that they're looking to get done. So in consideration, we're looking to differentiate ourselves, and we best differentiate ourselves from our competitors by educating the customer on what we're different, what we do. And I'm not talking about we have great customer service or anything like we're open 6 days a week, or we come to you. That's all those things are kind of expected in most industries now. So you need to differentiate a bit further. We've worked with more Western Australian companies than anyone else, or we're the company that doesn't mind coming to your town. In fact, we're as far up as Cairns and as far south as the Gold Coast. So those things where you're starting to differentiate your service offering, you might differentiate on price. You might be cheaper. You might have access to different brands. If you're a mechanic, you may be someone who deals in Valvoline oils, or you might deal in Castrol GTX oils or something like that, where you've actually got a very defined point of difference that people will be interested in following. And then at the conversion stage, we're looking at a very direct message, a direct call to action, that is to buy, download, book, all those things that are going to lead someone to just go and do the thing. So if someone has that intent, going into Google to search for, let's just say, someone who needs a test and tag service for their warehouse. So for instance, they've got they need someone to come out and show that all the cords are not leaking, and all the cords and electrical appliances, and even the fridge that's plugged in the kitchen has been tagged, tested to make sure it's safe, and tagged to confirm that it's safe. Then what you would do is, at your direct call to action to buy and download, you're not just going to explain, oh, we do all this. You say, you need to have test and tag done, do it right now. Or if you need to have electronic safety checked right now, click here to do it right now. And then in Facebook and Instagram, you may offer a discount or a singular convincing reason to buy now. So this is to try and get someone from, I'm thinking about doing this, to, yep, we're doing it. Let's do it right now. Click, we're going to buy. So that sort of thing is offering something that, now sometimes is a discount, but mostly it shouldn't be. It can be like a value added thing. It's like, for what I do is offer like a 15-minute scoping call with anyone who really wants to have one. I can spare 15 minutes out of my day to do that. Or it could be an offer, say buy one, get one free. Or it could be, the convincing reason to buy is that we have stock this weekend and we expect it's going to run out by Saturday afternoon. So you should buy now. That's convincing for someone who really, really wants what it is you do. So as we move out of the sales funnel, we move into roughly how you would price out the different areas of your sales funnel. At the awareness stage, that's going to contain at least 50% of your spend. In many cases, that may be up to 60% of the marketing spend. Now, this is the cheapest part of the funnel. Even though I'm saying you're spending most of your budget in it, you're going to get a bigger bang for buck, because at this level, you're looking for everybody, tire kickers included. You're looking for anyone who has any kind of even vague interest in what you're doing. The trick here, though, is if you're in a large city, so if you're in Brisbane or Perth, even Gold Coast, I would class as a big enough city as well, that this area is going to be, you're going to have to spend more in a bigger city to reach all of that city than if you say you're reaching somewhere like Darwin or Cairns, Mackay, Townsville, Geraldton, Bunbury. Any areas like that will be a lot cheaper to reach. Simply reason it's population, right? More people in the big cities than what there are in the regional areas. So what you'll need to do in big cities, you'll have to somehow reduce that cost. And you do that by niching down the kind of person you're looking for. Very, very specific about the kind of demographic you're looking for, the age group, the gender, the interests that they have. Whereas when you're in a regional area, in places like Cairns and Darwin and Mackay and Townsville and Bundaberg, Geraldton, Bunbury, Albany, Esperance, Kalgoorlie, those sort of second tier cities, you're starting to look at being a lot more general, very broad about the kind of person you're targeting. The reason is because there's not that many people in Alice Springs, for example. What is it, 25,000 people? So you can essentially, for any kind of ad campaign you put out to Alice Springs, you might as well just advertise to the whole town and don't niche down for any targets at all. But if you're in Brisbane, for example, well, that might be a bit different. You've got 2-point-something million people to sort of go for. So you need to really be specific about the kind of person you're getting to, because it costs a lot of money to reach 2.1 million people. So at 50% of your spend going into the awareness stage is because you need to constantly be filling the top of your funnel. This sales funnel works constantly. It's designed to keep going. Now, you may not get a huge result in the first week or two, but this thing does happen over time, like a pump. If you're filling a pump, you need to prime the pump first. You need to put a bit more effort in order to get that flow through. But once it's flowing, it's not really easy to run out of people coming into the funnel, particularly if you've left the awareness stage with a broad enough set of circumstances to attract people into it. So we're talking about male or female, and that's about it, and maybe a bit of an age range. That's in the smaller cities. In the bigger cities, Brisbane and Perth, specifically for the purposes of this particular group and this particular program, you're going to have to get a little bit more. So you may want to go, I'm just going to advertise to people in the Logan region, in Redlands, in the south of the river or the north of river in Perth, or maybe around Mandurah, or as up into Joondalup or into Wanneroo, rather than going the whole of Perth or the whole of Brisbane. So you may need to niche that down a little bit. Anything under about 100,000 people is where you're suddenly going to, your targeting and your niching is going to get a little less effective. When you get over the 100,000 people in your target, when it shows the little meter on the ads platform in Facebook and Instagram, you'll get far better results if you get more broad. But over the 100,000, you need to start niching down, particularly when you get to, say, the size of places like the Sunshine Coast. So let's think of it as Sunshine Coast up. So Sunshine Coast is about 300,000 people. So 300,000 people up, you're looking at needing to start niching into areas, postcodes, interests, genders. If you're under that sort of 150 to 300, you're in sort of that zone of Cairns, maybe Townsville to a degree. So you might be able to niche down a little bit, but I don't start niching down between, say, genders and maybe some areas. You might want to go up into the north of Townsville and then the south of Townsville. You might want to go from Edmonton in Cairns up to, the northern beaches in Cairns and separate those out. But once you start getting to under 150,000 people, so we're talking about Darwin, Alice Springs, Mackay, Bundaberg, where else are we looking at? Bunbury, Dunsborough, Albany, Esperance, Geraldton, Karratha, Port Hedland, Broome, then it's just target the whole city for your awareness. Moving to consideration, about 30% of your spend is going to go there. And in the conversion, 20% of your spend. Now, what happens is as they go down the funnel, the leads you're trying to get out of here are getting more expensive. They start off very, very cheap. You might even get, a cost per thousand of maybe, $1.50 per thousand people that you want to reach. And that's amazing. And you might get like even clicks through your website, and you're getting clicks for about, 27 cents each. Once you get the consideration, now you're getting people who are far more interested in what you do, and they're more qualified. So it's going to cost you that little bit more. And by a bit more, I'm talking in terms of, instead of 27 cents per thousand, it might cost you, more like $2.50 per click, or even more. It might cost $7.50 per click. It just goes up. The cost of the action you're trying to attract moves from being getting in front of lots of people to an actual action. So clicks here, landing page views, sales, conversions, which brings us down to the next one. Conversion is the most expensive thing you can target on any ad platform, because there's not that many people who are going to do it. And to get them is going to cost you a little bit more, because they are much more likely, those people who they are identified by the platforms are much more likely to be someone who's going to go through and become a customer. So they're much more valuable, which means they sell for a lot more. So the idea is here, you've got to keep people getting in that top of that funnel, so they keep dripping down. So you've got a constant supply of people who have an interest, and then finally a constant supply of people who are at that point of perhaps converting to become a paying customer. Hope that makes sense. So at the top of the funnel, we're looking at awareness and what I call the hook. This is the thing that's going to get someone interested in what you are, who you are, and what it's for. So in awareness, we play with 3 platforms here: Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Now, YouTube is because it's a very good top of funnel way to get lots and lots of exposure for your brand, almost like television and radio. It's so ubiquitous now. It's so commonly used by people now that it's kind of like TV and radio. You just switch it on, off you go. You don't even realize these days when you're watching YouTube, because it just becomes part of your day so easily. So in that, we're looking at something which has got very high impact visuals, something that's going to grab attention, something that then shows your brand really early in the process and gets to the point of the ad and the message really quickly. So we've got high impact visuals to get attention, showing your brand early so they know who this is for, and you get to the point really quick because you don't have long. In fact, you've got 3 seconds. In second 1, you need to get the attention, splash, some kind of thing going on that's going to draw the eye over to your video. In the second, you flash your logo in some way, shape, or form. Doesn't have to necessarily be splashed across the screen. In the third second, that's when you have to get the point by. So you've got 3 seconds to get the attention, let them know who you are, and then finally get to the point. You might spend the next 10 seconds describing the point. That's fine, as long as within that 3 seconds, you've actually got to the point. That sounds like a challenge, and it means you remove all the fluff, you remove all the waffle, and it comes down to efficiency of words and getting to a message really quickly, because the attention span on video online is really short. Just the same way, if you're watching The Masked Singer tonight on Channel 10, you're not going to sit there and wait for every single ad to do their thing. You'll go off and do something. You'll either switch your channel, hit your iPad, hit your phone, go out to the fridge, go to the toilet, whatever you do in an ad break. You're not going to hang around to wait for some boring local television ad to tell you what ice cream to buy. So the attention thing is achieved by color. There's certain colors that do get attention really, really well. Yellow is one, red is one, but then so do blocks of color in purple, blue, beige, caramel, teal. Any of the colors will do it, as long as it's bold and it's designed to get some kind of attention. Now, if I came to this screen, you'll notice that I've used a splash that goes boink, it sort of pops. So that's designed to basically get your attention. That kind of effect, a splash, a swirl, a sudden lot of movement, color and motion are really good for getting some kind of attention. They draw the eye to it. A quirky photo or a quirky person in a video will also get attention. There's also the WTF factor. So this is where there's a photo that just goes, what the heck is that? What is that? And it makes someone just go, what? Go back there and show me that again. So you just draw them in. That could be a little bit of a bait and the switch. You don't want to necessarily be showing something which is utterly irrelevant to what your business is or what your purposes are. But color and motion faces, they're all things that get attention. We're getting a little more used to seeing a lot of talking heads on social media these days, so we'll tend to try and ignore those a bit more. But if we're really like looking at, okay, the kinds of things that get the attention of people to what you're trying to advertise, motion and color are really, and even in colorblind people, it's just contrast. Think of contrast: black and white, blue and red, green and gold, the swirling colors that move, swirling backgrounds, high impact graphics, kind of like that thing I was showing you earlier, the video of the sales funnel. If you saw that, that would get your attention because it's colorful and it's moving. So that's the attention level. The logo then is going to flash up. Now you can either flash up the logo, or you can wear it on a shirt, or have a logo on a coffee cup, or have an animated logo just doing a bit of a spin as part of the high impact attention scene before that. Remember, you're only on the second into this. 2 seconds into the video when you're showing this logo. So it's only very, very quick. Quite often what I'll do, I'll just have the logo on my shirt. I don't need to flash a logo up. They'll know where I'm from because what I'm wearing. Or I'll have, you know, like a little logo up in the top left-hand corner or in the bottom right-hand corner, just to make sure that it's visible there, what I'm actually referring to. I've also got, you know, mugs. I need to get some new ones on my new logo, but I'll normally have a mug of coffee sitting on my desk as I'm talking to someone, or I'm holding the mug while I'm talking to them. So that's showing the logo so they can connect the brand with who the person is. So that's now second number 2. To second number 3, we're looking at the point. And the point is, and I call this a circle of threats. I've used this quite often in the Mad Men video that we did the other day, and in my story brand webinars that I often run. This is about the wheel of threat. It asks, what is the problem? Well, there is a solution to that problem. Here's the solution. Now take action on that solution. And I'm kind of saying that you're vulnerable to a threat. Luckily, there's a solution to that threat. Here's what the solution is. Now it's up to you to take action to take that solution. So it could be something in the terms of, and the one I usually use is termites. So the problem is that your home may be vulnerable to termites that could cause tens of thousands of dollars of problems. Luckily, there's something really quick, simple, and relatively cheap you can do about it. The solution is to get an annual termite check that costs you just $250, and $250 for peace of mind isn't very much. So take action now and give us a call on 1-300 blah 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 blah. And then you've got what is essentially what's the form of an ad. And that's a very Mad Men technique. It's a very old television technique of producing a problem, indicating that there is a solution, introducing the solution, and then saying, come on, take action, do it. You know you need it. You know you want it. Do you want to avert that risk? Well, take action on it. So that sort of wheel of threat thing. And if you want to see that in action in many ways, my Mad Men video that I did, I think it was like late last week, maybe Thursday, Friday last week, is available on my YouTube channel. Just look for my name, Dante St. James. Give it a watch because it's got techniques on how exactly to do that in a way that isn't threatening, but is actually quite inspirational at times as well. So we got to the point. An example might be that I have a high impact graphic come on screen just to get attention. Then the logo is on my shirt and I say, small business is hard, but there is a better way to do it. Digital Solutions gives you access to experts who can help. Register now at businessstation.com.au. And I'm doing all that in about 10 seconds. That's a 10-second ad. That's in no time whatsoever. In that time, I have had a high impact graphic to get attention. I had a logo showing up to connect it to a brand. I've presented what the problem is. Small business is hard. I've said, yep, there's a solution to this. Here's the solution. It's Digital Solutions. And here's the call to action. Register now at businessstation.com.au. Reason why we lead with a problem is because that expresses some empathy towards people, that you are actually stepping into their world and saying, I know you've got problems you need to solve. Well, I know how to solve them. Here's the solution. And now you can take action and register for that to get that solution. Hopefully that makes sense. So how does this work in the actual ad platforms? What do we do in Google and Facebook and Instagram and all those to make this work for you? So we start off first of all in Facebook, which is also the Instagram platform. It's all the same thing. You will use a brand awareness campaign in the ads manager. Why we use brand awareness is because we want people to recognize and recall that brand. So your brand, your business. We will use a broad demographic target. Remember, I was talking about in regional centers to just use the whole town. But if you're in a bigger city, then you're still going to be quite broad in your target. You're not going to be very specific, but you might limit it to geographical areas that you can afford to reach, or maybe male or female, rather than looking for that, or even an age group, which will still leave lots of people. You're still getting your message in front of a lot of people. And 100% you need to use video ads. And I think video ads are just, they're the only way really to use any sort of display advertising with Facebook and Instagram. The reason is because a simple photo doesn't necessarily get attention on a platform that's full of simple photos of people with sunsets, photos of people's dogs. If your photo would have to be spectacular in order to get the attention, but to make it spectacular and related to your business is hard. So you need to use other techniques in your arsenal, something else in your tool belt that you can pull out and go, okay, I can't do the spectacular photo, but I can do a video with motion. I can do a video that expresses a problem and expresses what that solution to that problem is. So I would always start at the top with video ads, and you can make those on Canva these days. They're not hard to make. In YouTube, then, we're using what is called a brand awareness and reach ad. So either brand awareness or reach is allowing you to put out an ad that's going to reach as many people within your custom keywords. So instead of demographics and all that, they do some affinity level, but affinity I don't think works that well with YouTube. I think it's more custom audience based on keywords. So that's like the interest. So if you're putting up an ad on YouTube that is to do with your copywriting service, so someone who's going to rewrite all the stuff on your website to make you sell more stuff, then you are likely to appear on videos that people are watching to do with copywriting, business, websites, SEO, Shopify, all that sort of thing. You'd select a bunch of keywords that are relevant to the content of your ad, because that's saying if someone brings up in the target area that I'm looking at being maybe the Perth metropolitan area, then I want to make sure that when they are searching for how to fix a leaking tap, then my plumbing service or my plumbing supplies business service will come up as an ad in those instances. Now, just remember though, with YouTube, not everyone's going to see those ads because they're in different areas. There are also people like me who pay for YouTube, like they pay about $14 a month, and that gives me ad-free YouTube and their music service. So I never see the ads. I'll never, ever see a YouTube ad ever because I pay to not see them. Most people are not like that. 97%, I think, of people on YouTube don't pay. So they're going to see your ad. And some of those ads are what we call skippable ads. Some of them are non-skippable. Non-skippable is a bit more expensive, a lot more expensive, in fact. Skippable gives you the first few seconds. So you get 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it'll get to 5, and it'll skip it'll actually count you down. 5, 4, 3, 2, which is great for the format of ad we were just writing, because remember, it gets that first thing in the first second, the logo comes up in the second. By the third second, you're already going into what your problem and solution is. So within 5 seconds, you can cover a lot of ground if you write it correctly. In the second stage of the funnel, the consideration, I call it the education, because this is where you're going to tell people about your stuff, about you, about why they should choose you. So in the consideration level of the funnel, you're going to have Facebook, Instagram, and now we're moving into Google. We're moving out of YouTube and into Google search itself. So let's just say the same sort of setup as you had before. Now we're going to start by confirming the brand at the very start, because these people have already seen your ad. They've already seen you before. They know who you are and they know what you do. So what you're doing is reintroducing yourself. You know how you met someone at a party 3 months ago and you meet them again at another party and you just, oh yeah, we met down at that last party. You're reconfirming that relationship and saying, you already know me. Here's my logo and this is who I'm from. And then we do a bit of a did you know? And the did you know is all about expressing a bit of information about our product or about our service or about our book or about our scented candle or about our yoga studio or about whatever it is we happen to do. We're doing a did you know? And as part of that, we move into explaining the benefits of dealing with us. So first of all, we open with the brand this time. Then we ask a question that's quite common. And then we explain the benefits of working with what our product happens to be. So at stage 1, confirming the brand. Then we go, did you know? And in the 5th second, we start listing the benefits, because it's going to take us a couple of seconds to, first of all, I'm Dante St. James from Clickstarter. Did you know there's thousands of people who are not getting what they need out of social media? So that was about 5 seconds, right? I get to the 5th second mark, and then I start listing the benefits. What we've done, first of all, is people who know us are more likely to stay there and see us, particularly if they've got an interest in it. So they're interested enough to notice us again. They'll stick with us for a few more seconds. So we don't need the 3 seconds now. We've got the 5 seconds to work with. I know it's only 5 seconds. It's such a little amount of time. Now we're going to confirm the brand. So the first step, the logo can be either on screen briefly, can open up with the logo. You can just have, again, the logo on the shirt, the logo placed on a bottle, on a cup of coffee, or you can just verbally mention the brand without even putting the logo on there. If they've come across you before, if you're someone who talks to the camera in your ads, I'm starting to do that a little bit of myself now, then you're able to then be able to jump into just saying what your brand or your business is, rather than having to display it on something. But having it on a coffee cup as you're saying it, it's like a bit of a double bunger. You've got like the impact coming through from visual, and the impact coming through from audio as well. The did you know is a very common question about your product or service that addresses a very common problem perhaps, and has a suggestion that you have the answer to that question in this very video ad. A video ad doesn't have to be sell, 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 sell. It can be very informative and very educational. I boost these things, like these webinars, I record them, I put them onto Facebook, and I often use them as ads. They're very informative. They're a 1 hour video. I'm not expecting everyone to sit there and watch my 1 hour video directly from an ad, but some people do. Some people will watch through because it's just something in the opening that really gets their attention, which is why I usually open up with my face on the video on these webinars. I sort of have the screen hovering, but as soon as it hits the right time, the face comes up, and that's how I start to show that some interest, and then addressing what the problem is that people are coming here to learn the solution to. The benefits then is no more than 3. Like 3 is enough. But one benefit should answer the original question that was posed. So remember when we said that we come back here and said the did you know? So the did you know is directly related to the benefits. The first benefit you're going to list is the answer to the did you know. So did you know that every year in hotels, thousands of tons of washing detergent is used to wash towels. So the benefit of that is that, so while you may be getting a really nice towel, you're actually harming the environment at the same time. The benefit to what we do in this hotel is that we allow you to, 1, choose whether to get your towels washed every day or not, and 2, decide when time is for you to get a fresh set of towels. You're not listing features here. You're not saying our towels are soft and fluffy. You're not saying our water is fresh and wonderful, or our detergent is light and much more gentle on the environment. What you're saying here is that you're answering the first issue that you brought up. So the first issue was that did you know that tons of carbon monoxide are produced from producing detergents? You're saying, okay, did you know tons of carbon dioxide are used to produce detergents? We're doing something about that by reducing the amount of times that our towels get washed. Benefit number 1 is the environment saves. Benefit number 2 could be that you have control over whether you want people coming in and changing your towels. And number 3, when you really want a towel, you just a phone call away. Just let us know. We'll bring a fresh towel up for you. So you're not listing features, you're listing the benefits. Now, the difference between features and benefits are, features are like lists. There are lists of, but it does this and it does this and does this. The benefit is the outcome, the actual benefit from having those features. So for instance, we have 4 cup holders in the front of your car. So you can hold all, that's the feature. The benefit is, so you can hold the cups for all the passengers in their vehicle without kids spilling them in the back. That's a benefit. The feature could be, we've got dual airbags, front and sides in our vehicles. That's a feature. The benefit is, so if you do have an impact, you're protected not only from the front, but also from the side where so much of the impact may be coming from. Protection's a benefit. So that features and benefits thing, that might take a bit of work on it. So an example would be, say, for instance, I'll go like Business Station again. Business Station helps more small businesses every day. Did you know that you can access 7 hours of digital expertise for just $44? Get your social media marketing sales, social media making sales. Learn to update your own website. Keep the hackers at bay. Register now at businessstation.com.au. Started off with the brand. I didn't even display it. I just spoke it. Then I moved on to the did you know? And then I listed the 3 benefits. Getting your social media making sales is a benefit of saying that we've got social media lessons. Learning to update your own website is a benefit of we've got workshops that teach you that. Keep the hackers at bay is a benefit of we have cybersecurity workshops and updates for you as well. And then the call to action at the end to register at that website. So it's not hard to write these things and get them into those 3 and 5 second thresholds. It's not hard at all. So how does this work in the ad platforms at this level? Well, we use website traffic campaigns on Facebook Ads Manager. And then we retarget what is called through play video views, which is 25% of a video. So if you've got, say, for instance, a 1 minute long video, this retargets new ads to the people who have already viewed 15 seconds of your 1 minute ad. So through play is 15 seconds or a quarter or 25% of the video length. In this, we do not retarget people of any specific demographic or geographical area. We're just saying we don't care where they come from, what they're doing, as long as they've viewed this video for enough time for it to actually have a message sink in. Then we want to send them the second round of ads in our sales funnel. So at the top of the funnel was showing them the ad. That first ad could be a minute long, 30 seconds long. Then we want to target people who've watched at least a quarter of that ad, which is in some cases quite significant. 15 seconds is a lot of time online. We want to retarget those people with another ad. And we're not telling it to go, oh, they need to be, they need to have seen this ad. Plus they need to be women between 25 and 39 who like, I don't know, baseball. We're not getting that specific. We're just retargeting people who viewed that first ad. In Google then, we're creating search text ads for leads. Our objective is to get leads. So then we're also doubling up by creating what we call remarketing ads. They're like the retargeting ads in Facebook, but these ones are called remarketing because it's Google, it's a bit different. And we're retargeting or remarketing people who have viewed our website or a specific page on our website. They've gone to a product page on the website. Say, for instance, you're selling a book and they've gone to your book page. We target an ad which says, people who have been to my book page, send this new ad. That ad text, if it's in search, should address the common questions that customers are asking. So if they are looking specifically for books about personal development, then you can go, okay, I'm going to answer that. Looking for a book for personal development? Well, this is a great book to get you started on learning how to take control of your personal power. So in that case, you've got an ad that matches the context of what people are asking. That's the power of Google Ads. They allow you to ask the questions and propose a solution and a bit of education in your text ad, which is very short, but it's within the context of what the person is looking for. So you're not just, saying people searching for apples, let's deliver them search results about potatoes. You're actually delivering something that's really within the context of what they're looking for. Something that either answers the question they're looking for or is in the ballpark of it. So finally, then we've got the conversion. This is getting that sale, getting someone across the line. And in this case, what we're trying to do is get past a blank screen into this screen. Conversion is in the realm again of Facebook, Instagram, and Google. So at the stage, we're looking for our ads to display a direct solution statement. So we're going, our product does this. Our service does this. Then we reaffirm the brand. So the brand's not up front this time, it's in the second bit. And then we're looking for a strong call to action or offer in the end of it. How does this then look? Looks kind of like this. The first second, you've got that direct solution statement. You're saying straight off the bat, this is the thing that we do. Immediately, and even during that statement, you can be reaffirming the brand by showing it on screen. So you can do those sort of at the same time. At the point of 5 seconds in, where you've said what the solution is that you provide, and you've reaffirmed who you are, then you need to start your strong call to action. These are the shortest video ads you'll have. In fact, in most cases at this level, it's not in a video ad anymore. It's just a plain graphic ad with graphics, photos, and a bit of text overlay, that kind of thing. Or it could be a slideshow or a carousel ad on Facebook. In this one, and if it's on in Google, it's just straight to the point. It's say, oh yeah, you're looking for new tires, get your new tires here, and for the cheapest prices in town. It's not in pretending to do anything other than just sell those tires. So your direct solution statement is saying, this product will solve your problem. This service will address your issue. It's very confident and very direct, and it's not messing around. It's just designed to tell you that this product does what you're looking for this product to do. And we know that you're very much in that sales state. You're looking for this, not to research, but you're looking to make a purchase today. And so your ad on Google particularly is going to make it very obvious. Your ad on Facebook is going to be very obvious that you can buy this right now from clicking this ad. Now we reaffirm the brand, usually just by mentioning the brand of the business. So we say, you can have a better business just simply by getting in touch with Business Station. So you've reaffirmed the brand by mentioning it, but you're still saying the strong statement, you can have a better business. But you can have the logo on the screen, for a flash of it, or you can have it in frame, like on a bottle or on like a thing in the background. Some really effective ones I've seen, actually, you've got the brand in a neon light on the wall in the background. I actually want to get one of myself with my name on it. Might seem really narcissistic, but I think it's a really cool way of people knowing how to spell your name when you've got a fancy name like mine. And then quick flash, and then you're out to the next part, which is where you start to work on the call to action and an offer. So that's your book now, buy now, download, shop now, all that sort of stuff. At this point, you may also want to offer in some kind of deal or some kind of discount if that's the way you roll. If you're not a discounter or a deal offerer, that's fine. Just give people a reason to download. Apart from my book is really good, my scents are really good, my colors are really good, my service is really good, and I'm open on a Sunday. So give them something beyond the usual. Otherwise, just go straight for the call to action, knowing that they're looking for what you're selling anyway. So you may not need to sweeten the deal with any extra discounts or any kind of offers or vouchers or sweeteners. So an example of this kind of one, you can say confidently at the top, in 1 hour, you will know how to install and design a WordPress website. With Business Station, you can learn in a workshop or one-to-one for just $44 for 7 hours of advice and learning. But hurry to secure your place. Register now at businessstation.com.au. So again, we're saying confidently, you will know how to install a WordPress website. You're saying the brand with Business Station. Then you're saying what the actual solution is and the call to action. Hurry to secure your place. Register now. So it's very, very quick, very, very short, very, very sharp. This can be done in 10 seconds in a very short video, or there's enough in there that you can just put into the text of an ad. Now, all three of these levels, the awareness, consideration, and conversion, are different campaigns. They all work amongst one another. And how you'll roll this out in your ad platforms is you start off with, in the first one we had with the awareness, that you're doing those video ads that we then retarget in the next level. Now what we're doing, we're retargeting again. So we're retargeting the second ad. So in the conversions campaign, which is a different kind, we've done the brand awareness campaign. We've done the website traffic campaign. Now in Facebook, we're doing a conversions campaign, which is designed for people who are in that intent to buy. So if someone's doing a lot of buying online today and you want to put your hand designed stationery sets on there because they're buying lots of stuff from places like Smiggle and all the different online stationery places, well, they're hot to trot for what the stuff is that you're selling, and Facebook can tell that. So they're going to whack your ad in front of them and say, hey, you're up to stationery. Here's a great range of stationery. You can order it today and it'll be in the mail by the end of the day and you'll get it within this week. Great, fantastic, exactly what I'm looking for. We find those people by retargeting people who have already reviewed your videos or who have an interest in that specific product that you're selling. We don't necessarily need to use in the retargeting any further demographic or geographical targeting, because remember, these people, we've already qualified them. They've been walking down that funnel until we've got them so tight. When they get to this point, there's a much higher likelihood that this kind of person will buy from you because they're already looking for what it is you do. So that's at the bottom of the funnel. How we do that in Google is we work on a search text ads that are highlighted for sales. So they're highlighted with what we call an objective of getting sales from our website or sales from somewhere. So if you're selling something on your website, this is the place to get it from. What we have is remarketing ads for website views. So we're using people who have already been to our website are now going to start to see banner ads as they move across the internet to news sites and blogs, and like people who take Google ads to help make money on their websites. They're now going to see on those sites ads for you because they've already visited you. They're now reminded of who you are. If it's a search text ad, then it should point directly to a call to action alone. The only thing you want for your search text ad, which is highlighted for sales at the top there, is that you want to point people directly to making a sale. That's all you want to do. You don't want to describe the product. They're already looking for what you're doing. They're looking for a deal, or they're looking for the ease of booking. They're looking for clarity to find that thing and buy it. If you're the clearest and you're in the right price range, they will probably come to you if your ad shows at the top of the screen. So what is next in all this? Because I can see we've had people drop out of this call. So because it's creating sales funnels across these platforms is not the easiest thing to do. It actually is quite difficult. It's confusing. It's actually, it's a thing that you can get horribly wrong as you're going across. Now I work with, I'm just about to take on a $250,000 campaign, and it's a lot of money that this client wants to spend with me. So I cannot stuff it up. So you can imagine when you're going out there doing this the first time, you're going to be very nervous, even more nervous than I am with $250,000 spend budget. So what do you do next? This is where for $44, you can get access to the digital solutions program. $44 is going to probably put a smile on your face like this very handsome young man in the bakery, because it's going to get you this kind of value. 3 hours of one-to-one guidance through digital solutions. Another 4 hours that you'll spend in being guided to certain webinars and workshops. And there's going to be free access to all these webinars and workshops for the rest of the program, which is ending in September next year. So we've got tons of time to get through here. You can register for this if you qualify. You'll find out if you try to register for it at businessstation.com.au. And you can refer myself, like to work directly with me. If you like to go, I need a sales funnel built. This guy knows how to do it. Well, we've got 3 hours in there to learn how to do it together. So you can do that through businessstation.com.au, where you can request me specifically. I'll tell you who else works on really good sales funnel. Liam Fay in Queensland. So if you can't get me, you can get Liam. Another person is Kazia McNaught in Perth. She's also excellent with creating these kind of sales funnels. So I'm not the only one in there. I just happen to be the one who makes the prettiest slides and the prettiest PowerPoint presentations. It's a gift. What can I tell you? In here, I'd like to thank you very much for joining me. Dante at clickstarter.com.au is my email address. I do encourage you to stalk me out on LinkedIn. I provide a lot of stuff on LinkedIn. I'm constantly on there posting information and updates and these videos as well. And don't forget, go and see it on LinkedIn, on YouTube a little bit later on. The minute I get off this call, I'm going to get this recorded and get this downloaded and edited so I can get it up tonight onto YouTube so you can watch it if there's anything you wanted to watch a second time. But what I really want to do is thank you for, I guess, taking some time out of your business to learn more about how to support your own business. Because I know it's not easy. As a small business, I'm a small business too. I don't have thousands of employees. I don't make millions of dollars. I make a fair chunk of money, but it's, a lot of it goes out into paying for things that run my business. So thank you for taking that time. And I do hope to see you in the next one of these videos.